where you're getting ready for a date and you gotta bend over like Quasimodo. You're just like, you're gonna kill it with the ladies, Seth. Man, me and my wife, we went on a trip recently, went to Italy. A lot of fun, a little stressful, don't know Italian. We did pick up a few words while we were there. I would walk through doorways or off of a train or just stand next to someone too long and we'd either hear whispered or shouted, Il Gigante. So now I know the Italian word for handsome. That's nice. Now people feel I'm 6'9". If the basketball credit didn't give you the hint, I'm 6'9", and people feel the need to tell me how tall I am, just in life. They just walk up, oh my gosh, you're so tall! Like, I know, I own a ceiling fan. I know. I'm in that bad tall range where I'm too tall for anything to work right for me. I can't fit on planes, I can't buy pants, whatever. But I'm not tall enough to be whiting in the NBA. Like, it's so close, you know? And I wish, things people take for granted, right? Regular heighted people, you wake up in the morning, you go into the bathroom, you look yourself in the face in the mirror. You know what I see when I look in the mirror? Torso! That's it! Like, every single day. How do you know how hard it is to have good self-esteem when you're getting ready for a date and you gotta bend over like Quasimodo? You're just like, you're gonna kill it with the ladies, Seth. It's tough. It's tough. Oh man, people always ask if I had a hard time buying clothes. Yes, I did have a hard time buying clothes. You try finding a 30 waist and a 40 inseam, okay? 4x3 is an aspect ratio, it's not a pant. And then they always follow it up with, well, have you tried shopping at Big and Tall? You been there, Big and Tall? Round of applause, who's been to Big and Tall? Like 4 people! But you know, and probably a couple of fat guys that didn't want to clap. But you know, if you've been to Big and Tall, you know, at this point in America, let's be honest, it's mostly big, okay? You walk in there, there's one rack of tall clothes, and a wall of belts as tall as I am. That's, if you're considering an 81-inch belt, consider a toga. You know, it's the original one-size-fits-all. You say, Seth, how am I gonna wear a toga in my day-to-day? Just own it. It's all about confidence, right? Some punk comes up to you, what are you supposed to be? It is I, the Greek god of good harvest and plenty. My name? Diabetes. I think that was a good marketing move for the Big and Tall stores, right? Because no one's gonna shop at a store called Big and Fat. That's their slogan. The only thing lower than our prices is your self-esteem. Oh, and I have a lot of fat jokes. I don't have a problem with fat people. I have a problem with people who make excuses, right? There's nothing I could have done differently to be not a freak of nature, right? You know, I'm not fat, I'm big boned. I'm big boned, okay? They're gonna find my skeleton and think it was a T-Rex. I have a glandular problem. But McDonald's is not a gland. Mom. And I know she's gonna watch this special and just be like, I could go for a McGland right now. Dip that in a little barbecue, a little McGland. And you know, I'm not the healthiest person in the world. I'm pretty sure I'm a fat person that's just been like put through a taffy puller. Funhouse mirror fat person. But I eat a whole bag of Doritos. I know it says family size or party size. It's neither. I actually petitioned Doritos. I sent them a letter. I said, you guys should change the name to Lonely Size because that's gonna be more accurate for what's really going down with this bag of Doritos. And they actually wrote me back, which was cool. They said, we tried, it's trademarked by Hostess. And I was like, oh. That makes sense. That makes sense. Oh man, let's see, butter. I have keywords to remember things, and I was like, fat jokes, me being fat, butter, that's the next one. No, so speaking of me being unhealthy, in high school, I literally was in a butter eating contest because public school is great. No salted butter. There was supposed to be like a fear factor type thing, but it was the only thing that wasn't illegal for kids to eat, I guess. And so I'm in this butter eating contest, take one bite, and just threw up everywhere. It was the most worthless thing I've ever taken. And the rest of the day, my organs felt like they were in the wrong place. Like, it was greasy. But the kid that won, he ate 2 sticks of butter in 30 seconds because no one told him to stop. And I was just blown away. I'm like, how did you do that? And he's just like, I've been practicing for weeks. They announced this contest yesterday. And the best part is the prize for winning the butter eating contest was a jump rope. He's not gonna use that jump rope. Then again, I wouldn't have been able to use it either. I just keep hitting myself in the face. Maybe as a belt. Maybe he used the jump rope as a belt. Do you know somebody who does that? He's got all sad over here. I'm convinced that there's a secret race of people that only comes out at 2 a.m. and only at Walmart's. Who's with me? The Walmart people, and you see them when you're doing something like a normal person does, buying a single donut. That's what I'm at Walmart at 2 a.m. for. Single donut. There's all the rules, right? You don't don't make eye contact. You don't talk to them. So I'm going through the checkout line, dude in front of me, cashier who's clearly inexperienced because he just starts up a conversation with a Walmart person, and the dude has 4 extra large bags of dog food. And so the cashier, being the naive schlup that he was, is like, oh, this is a normal question. He's like, hey, like, what kind of dog do you have? And the dude just turns with no irony in his voice at all and says, I don't have a dog. So Big Boy wants a salty substitute for some Cocoa Puffs? Is that what I'm hearing? And I didn't mean to stare, but this was magnificent. This conversation was going on. And he turns around and he's like, what are you looking at? And I was like, oh, nothing, sir. I'm just, are you wearing a jump rope? We went to high school together. Remember the butter? Switched to dog food. Probably healthier. Oh, man. I did play basketball, played college basketball. We got any basketball fans? Yeah, I played, full disclosure, I was a walk-on, which means I had front row seats and matching jerseys. But had some good stats, though, while I was on the team. Had some good stats. CPM, claps per minute. Good job, guys. Oh, man, I wish I could jump. I was on the team for a year and a half. So for a year and a half, my name was Seth, with an F. Because that's how black guys say Seth for some reason. Didn't know what to make of that. I was talking to one of my teammates one day, and he's just like, man, Seth, you a thug. I'm like, hold on, you just said thug, that has a TH in it. That means you could say my name right this whole time, you just choose not to for some reason. He's just like, man, shut up, Seth. Talk to me like that on my birthday. Being tall is not all great. I have terrible back problems. I've had back problems for as long as I can remember. And I finally went to the doctor to get it looked at. Got an x-ray. I've never had an x-ray of my body before. And turns out my spine is literally a parenthesis. It's just, I have the worst scoliosis you've ever seen. And I just really want my wife to have the opposite scoliosis for, close that down, right? Nobody wants an open parenthesis. My OCD can't handle it. No, so I'm looking at this x-ray, and it was fascinating. And then I noticed that in the bottom corner, there's this big black mass. big dark area. And of course, watching House and all these medical shows, I'm like, it's cancer. It has to be cancer. Definitely cancer. And so I'm freaking out. I'm like, what if the doctor doesn't notice? What if he doesn't? What if it's my life is in my own hands? I have to tell him about this cancer. And so I just try to be calm about it. I'm like, hey, doc, what do you think this black mass here is? Is that suspicious? And he's like, nope, that's gas. Good. I'm glad I asked that in front of all the nurses. Ladies, it was like... And I was just embarrassed, and I was mad at myself, and I was mad at the doctor and the stupid x-ray, and I walked back into the waiting room, and I'm just like, that's dumb, he's lying, I don't even have to fart. And then I did, because science. And so I'm thinking, I'm in the waiting room, right? Like, doctors never come back that fast. I got time, right? So right as I'm like kind of cheesing it off, the doctor walks back in with his clipboard like... So of course my mind starts racing. I gotta think of a way to lie about it. I gotta lie my way out of this situation. So I'm just like, there's a gas leak. No, that wouldn't work. The hospital just smells. He works in the hospital. He knows it doesn't smell. It smells a little bit. But, and I realized in that moment how difficult it is to lie to someone who's literally seen your fart. And so I just went with the classic. I'm like, it wasn't me? He's like, let's take another x-ray. Like I said, we went to Italy. First time in Europe. It was fun. There's a lot of things that people don't really know about, at least I didn't. For one, almost everybody in Europe smokes. All the time. It was raining. This was a very common occurrence. We had, people would be riding a bike while holding an umbrella and a cigarette in the other hand. And we're just looking out of the McDonald's window like, that's so unhealthy. And I know a lot of people who have been to Italy get really angry when I tell them that we went to McDonald's. But I had to have it. I had to have some, that's the American embassy right there, McDonald's. All that great food choices, I'm like, no, I'm gonna go with Mickey D's, okay? And we're just, we almost missed our train to Venice because of how badly I wanted to try Italian McDonald's. It was an honest mistake. Now, we got to Venice, though. It was very cold when we were there. It was 25 degrees Fahrenheit, in case you were wondering. And it was terrible. We planned for hot, sunny, warm, great weather. So we walk off the train. There's all this beautiful architecture and canals and whatever else. And we're just like, gotta find a coat. Gotta find a coat. You can't pay attention to that. Gotta find a coat. And we found a shop that had coats, but they were all hideous. And I was like, gotta find a fashionable coat. Gotta find a fashionable coat. And we walked into a Murano glass store. Murano glass is a big thing in Venice. It's just a bunch of really tiny, expensive glass figurines that these artisans make. And I am Il Gigante, if you don't recall. And so I'm just like in this 6-foot-tall store trying not to touch anything. I felt like a bull in a china shop, but it was really more Il Gigante in a Murano glass shop. It was rough. It was our anniversary. That's why we were there. We had a nice fancy meal, but the portion sizes in Italy are just not what big and tall up here is used to, okay? And so, you ever eat something that you're pretty sure was meant for display? And you just gotta kind of like stick with it. Like no one else can know how dumb I am. This bread has definitely been here forever. Tastes decorative. Like it was rough. And the other thing that really sucks about traveling for me in general is just, I'm kind of a germaphobe. We got any germaphobes here? So germophobic, you don't even want to slap your hands together. That's fair. I resonate with that. No, I'm terrified of public bathrooms. They gross me out. I'm freaked out, nasty. And so my friend at work, I tell him about this and he's just like, oh, Seth, I got a life hack. Gonna save you tons of time. It's gonna be great. So what you do, let's state the problem first. There's a bunch of other people on the toilet. We don't want that. I was like, yeah, thanks. Let's stop talking about it. So what you do is you want a layer of you between all of them. And I was like, okay. And he's like, so what you do is you spit on the toilet seat and just rub it around. And then you got a nice layer of you to buffer them. And I was kind of like, I guess, like I was kind of, and then he's like, I've been doing it for years. Works for me. So now I don't use the bathrooms at work anymore. Traveling's tough with my family too. My whole family's really tall. We're all big people. We've all been on those crappy family road trips, right? Imagine everyone in your family's over 6'4" in a Honda Accord. It was rough. We took a trip to Phoenix, fighting, biting, farting, swearing. That was just my mom in the driveway. There's definitely been worse family road trips, right? Worse family, like all the pioneers that settled the West. Typically the worst family road trip of all time, I imagine. You know, just all these, you don't have air conditioning, you don't have iPads, your kids in the back seat won't shut up. You're just like, Dad! Jebediah's touching me. And also, he's dead. Stop. That had to have been tough, though, right? Just imagine being in their shoes. Your feet are hurting, your back's hurting, your wife keeps hurting your feelings with all her snipey remarks. It's just like, still think this is a good idea. Jebediah is dead. And you never listened to me. We should have taken directions hours ago. That nice Indian man was trying to help us. He was trying to kill us, okay? I'm pretty sure that's why men today don't take directions at all. Because historically, all those who did died. Kind of just got bred out, you know? I feel bad for the oxen pulling the carts along too, those poor oxen, because they didn't know what they were getting into. Everyone's like, we're going west to start a new life for ourselves. And the oxen's like, me too. And they're like, as a sandwich. Because going to a trip nowadays, you run out of Cheetos halfway across to Kansas City, you're not gonna eat the engine, right? I think it worked out. I think the West is a nice place. We got California, we got Utah. We also have Wyoming. We got some people from Wyoming? I'm sorry. That state is a dumpster fire. I'm pretty sure the state bird is a rock. Here's my plan for Wyoming. I got a plan though, because there's pretty parts. There's Yellowstone. We'll just make that West Dakota. And then rename all that gross stuff. Why? Because no one's ever gonna go there. Or we could give it to Canada. I don't care. Oh man, Facebook's bugging me recently. Facebook's bumming me out. You got anyone got those depressing Facebook friends that just post all the sad things in their life instead of the happy ones? I've decided recently to start liking all of those posts. Maybe they'll stop. I think it hurts a little more now that we got all the other options, you know? You know, oh, my cat died. Like. I'm alone on Valentine's Day. Like. Share. Dating nowadays, modern dating with all the technology and stuff. You know, we got Tinder. Who's been on Tinder? Just me, okay. Good. Then these jokes are going to bomb. Doing them anyway. So I'll explain it, I guess. So Tinder is a thing where you kind of like swipe left or right to pick out people in your area that you would like to date. And that's not my demographic. The people, every single girl in there was 5'2" and a professional photographer, okay? Like, And so I want to make an app. It's going to be Tinder, but just for tall people. Already got a great name picked out. Going to call it Redwoods. And none of this swiping left and right crap. You swipe up if they're tall enough. And you swipe down if they're too short. Now, both of those options still say yes to the other person because when you're this tall, there's not a lot of options. And every time you match with somebody, it just says, Timber! Your standards just fell. I dated a girl on Tinder. Real head turner, like when I tried to kiss her. You don't have to feel sad, I'm married now. Like, not to a hobbit. No, I did date a girl that was real short for a while. That was not a fun time. When people start commenting on our pictures and in real life, oh, that's a fun daddy-daughter date. Nope, I'm out. Like, she's like, look, my hand fits in your palm. I didn't need to know that. No, I am married now. I am married. I love being married. Love my wife. It was a kind of rocky start. We were in Beauty and the Beast together, the stage play. I, of course, was Gaston. It's true, LeFou. Yeah, it was great. My wife was in the ensemble. She played Spatula number 2. She just didn't want that first spatula position enough, you know? Didn't try hard enough to get that number 1 spatula. Now, it was rough, though, because we got married, we went on our honeymoon, we came back, and then every single night for like 3 months, my wife had to watch 6 girls drape themselves over me while I'm just like, aren't I great? All these girls are like, yeah, he is. My wife's like, I'll kill all of you. Yeah, like, you gotta keep life spicy, right? We gotta keep date night nice. We've been married for a whole year, so I'm totally qualified to give dating advice. But me and my wife, we wanted to jazz it up a little bit, so we started a Dungeons and Dragons group. We gotta clap. We got a Dungeons and Dragons fan. So here's the thing. Both of us knew nothing about Dungeons and Dragons. We were Dungeons and Dragons virgins because we weren't. And and it was, I had no idea how much homework was involved. Like, I knew it was a nerdy game, but there's so much homework. And if you don't do it, you're the loser. You get kicked out. I came in the next week without doing all my character crap, and they're just like, okay, Seth, roll. I'm like, Seth swings the sword of procrastination. It does no damage. Like, it was rough. So we tried to nerd it down a little bit and did Magic the Gathering. We tried to go to a Magic the Gathering tournament. Let me paint a picture for you guys. I can't tell you how it smelled, but you can imagine. We just walk in there, you know, it was beautiful. The sweat glistening off the neck beards like a fresh morning dew in Rivendell. It was great. And all the nerds there, like, you look around the room and they were all the same. They're made of the same stuff. They were just different shapes, I guess, is how I would describe it. Like if you had nerd muffin batter and you're just sitting there pouring them in, and one of them you kind of overdid it, and he's, and then there's you get to the end, and you're like, oh, I don't have enough, and you just pour it in there, and it turns into a little crusty thing, and it's just like, checkmate. Like, you know how you have a lot of fun at Magic the Gathering? It wasn't that fun for me until I realized the secret. You just go from table to table asking which one's Pikachu. Oh, they hate that. Super hate that. Took my wife to a museum of modern art. We got any cultured fans? Yeah? I don't get it. I super don't get modern art, you know. It's a pile of dirt on the floor with a plaque next to it. Seems kind of, you know, whatever. But I do think the hardest job in the world has got to be being a janitor at a museum of modern art. Because you're just walking around like, what do I throw away? Your boss comes in, he's like, what is this can, like there's a whole stack of pop cans here. He's like, I thought that was art. Would you get rid of these stupid potato chip bags? He's just like, oh man, and then I thought that was plight of the potato farmer, you know? Some artsy crap name. Dated a girl for a while back when I was dating that she lived in, she went to a very conservative school. In fact, they surveyed the top 10 most conservative schools in the US, and the other 9 were like, maybe step it back a bit. She lived in the dorms there, and they had some really strange rules. I was just gonna follow her into her bedroom because I thought she was picking up something. She's like, whoa, Seth, where do you think you're going? And I was like, I don't know, I was just gonna follow you back into. She's like, you almost crossed the chastity arch. I was like, what's the chastity arch? Well, you see, it's something they have in the dorms here. No one of the opposite gender can go through, and that way, nothing bad ever happens. We can always go to the back seat of my Satan mobile. That's an option. Is it ironic to get frisky with a religious girl in the back of a white Kia Soul? Maybe. Of course, that's just a joke. Don't get all, worried about it. I've never fit in the back seat of a car. I did have a Kia Soul. I had a white Kia Soul. People said, why? Because no one really wants that car. I did it for the headroom. It was a roomy car for me. And people said, you should have just got a truck. I was like, I don't wear flat-brimmed hats and skip leg day, so I don't need a truck. Now, the Kia Soul, it says a message when you drive down the street in a Kia Soul. It's like a minivan. It's as ugly as a minivan, except without the utility of being able to transport more than one person, right? You drive down the street and everyone's like, that guy is white and boring. But he doesn't have kids. I'm pretty sure they got the design inspiration for the Kia Soul from Chinese takeout. They just take a lawnmower engine, they attach it to the go-kart from Little Rascals, and they just glue it together with duct tape. They did have a nice security feature, though. Literally a theft-proof vehicle. Because no one wants to be caught dead driving away from the scene of a crime in a Kia Soul hamster car. Now, those commercials were true, though. The nice sound system, it did have a killer sound system. It was so you could crank up the music and enjoy it and not pay attention to all the laughing pedestrians. I've had fun tonight. Are you guys having fun? The only thing that would make this night just a little bit better is if my mom could have been here to see me. Sadly, she's in a better place, so I'd like to dedicate this special to my mom. Round of applause, nothing? My dead mom. She had an expiring Groupon at the Sizzler, okay? You worked it out of me. She's not dead. She just wishes I didn't do comedy. Now my mom's a sweet lady. She's 6'2". She's probably 6'4". She lies about it. But she would be intimidating if she wasn't so ditzy. And she's not the most tactful lady in the world. She once said, I'm so full of tact, I got tact coming out of my butt. Which illustrates my point pretty well. This is a true story. We walked into none of the other shops were open. We walked into a Jamaican place, a little Jamaican joint, pun intended. And she walks right up to the 3 black ladies working there and says, Cool Runnings is my favorite movie. It's like, Mom, you can't say that. It's freaking racist. And she's like, no, it's not racist. I'm like, how would you feel if someone just came up and said, man, The Sound of Music, white people are crazy. You can't just walk up to a Hispanic and say, oh, man, Nacho Libre taught me so much about your culture. Nacho! Mom, you're racist. It was rough. My mom, it's been fun growing up. Some of the parental roles have switched a little bit. She is just this close to being a crazy cat lady because all the kids are moving out and stuff. And she has this really old, nasty cat that's got diabetes. It's on its last leg, literally. And she's already out there shopping for new kittens. She's looking at all these cats, and I'm just like, Mom, you have to finish your old cat before you start a new one. I don't wanna. Well, you're gonna. My mom, my parents are very nice, very accepting people, and I feel bad. I can't imagine anything more difficult than being a gay person and having to come out to really like judgmental or conservative parents. That would just be tough, and I have no idea what that's like. I have great respect for those people. The closest thing I've ever done is coming out to my parents as a comedian. There was a lot of crying. There was lots of tears. They were not happy. My mom's just like, well, how long have you known you were funny? You weren't funny as a kid. You were funny as a teenager, but we thought it was a phase. I think I've always known, Mom. Well, this is such a shock. I don't even know what to say. Oh, my friend told me that they have camps that cure being a comedian. They're called college improv. You tried that? I was like, Mom, there's worse things I could have been than a comedian. At least I'm not like a janitor at a museum of modern art. She's like, Seth, janitors make money! And it was rough. I was instantly the black sheep of my family. Until my younger brother declared his major as ballet. Turns out it's better to be the black sheep than the black swan. That's what I learned. You know, I make people laugh. And so does he, let's be honest. 6'4" ballerino. He is leotarded. No, I love my brother. He's a good kid. He teaches ballet now, so he's a starving artist. And I wanted to get him something nice, something he's going to use for his birthday. So I asked him, I said, Christian, what do you want? Oh, also, my brother's name is Christian, but he's an atheist, so my parents didn't see that coming. Christian, what do you want for your birthday? And he's like, I really have been wanting to buy this thing, but I don't know if you're going to be okay with it because you're kind of straight edge. I was like, no, I'll buy whatever you want to buy. And he's like, can I get a bong? And I was like, maybe not. I don't know how to do that. He's like, oh, please. I'm like, fine, we'll get you a bong. And so I go onto Google, and I literally search where to buy a bong. And before I hit enter, I'm like, hold on. They're going to put me on some no-fly list. The NSA is all over that. They're going to see that. So I go to Amazon, and they're like, turns out they do have them on Amazon. But they don't support Prime, so I'm not buying it there. Need that 2-day shipping, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, what kind of features? How do you even tell if it's a good one, right? Does it need a certain size, the Bong 6S Plus? Does it need Wi-Fi? I don't know. Me and my wife was just as helpful. So we ended up going to a smoke shop. Apparently a smoke shop, hookah shop, I guess they called it, and we had to converse before. We're like, okay, we don't know what we're doing. Let's just agree on that. She's like, yes. It's like, I'm going to take care of it. And so I'm like, okay, you take care of it. You be calm and coy and just collected. She walks up to the counter and says, hi, we need a bong for weed. And I was like, that's calm and collected? That's the grand master plan? She's like, I didn't know what to say. And the dude freaked out. He freaked out. He's just like, we don't sell those here. What are you talking about? These are water pipes, first of all. And I was like, we already checked at Home Depot. They don't have them. And they're for smoking tobacco. We're like, okay, I'm sorry. Quick question, why is the entire back of your store Flamin' Hot Cheetos and Raisinets if these are for tobacco? Nobody likes Raisinets when they're not high. Like, they're disgusting. And he's just like, fine, I'll ring you up, I'll get you the thing. Let me just turn down the Bob Marley and turn off this Cheech and Chong marathon. I'm just like, why are you getting so indignant, man? Man, I do want to have kids. I really want to have kids. I want to have twin sons, identical twin sons, and I want them both to grow up and end up being gay. Just so I can go to dinner parties and be like, I can't keep them straight. No, I want to have kids, and I ask my friends with kids, I'm like, what is it? How do you tip your toe in the water with child rearing, right? They're like, oh, you should babysit. You should try babysitting. That's a good first step, right? You have to clean up some poop. You got to rub something off the wall. It's going to be great. I was like, cool. So my friend wanted to go on a date, and I was like, yeah, let's babysit your kid. I'll babysit your kid. He's like, really? Great. So I took the kid. I wanted to take him somewhere he would enjoy. little tiny tyke. And I was like, let's go to a stuffed animal museum. That's something kids like, right? And we get there, and it turns out there's a subtle but important difference between a stuffed animal museum and a taxidermy museum. So he immediately started crying. I have to have a conversation about mortality that I am not prepared for. He's like, what, are they all dead? I'm just like, oh, these ones? These are just the bad animals. Just the bad ones. He's like, so only bad things die? And I was like, yeah, for sure. Just the bad things. And he's like, what did Grandpa do? I was like, well, he probably voted for Trump. That's, I just feel so bad for this kid, and I'm just thinking, like, if I take him back now, I'm not gonna be friends with the kid's dad, you know, 2 birds with 1 stone, which was one of the exhibits at the taxidermy museum. So I decided to take the kid to Build-A-Bear, right? Build-A-Bear, you know, get him a stuffed animal like I promised. That'll make it all better, right? Just like all the divorced dads think. And so we walk into Build-A-Bear, and I'm just like, what do you want? Which one of these bears do you want? How about that one? It's a polar bear. You want a polar bear? He's like, no, it's really white like you. I was like, shots fired from the kid who can't pronounce his R's, like. So anyway, so we get the bear, and the next step, you gotta fill your bear with love, right? That's what they call the stuffing at Build-A-Bear. They call it love. I know, I almost threw up too. So we go on over to the employee there, clearly hates his job, hates his life. He's got these massive gauged ears, and he's just like, how much love do you want in your bear? More than your mother gave you. Can we get more love than you got as a child? Is that possible? To pay extra for that? And he was being snarky with me. He knew the kid was crying. He knew I was having a bad time. He made us do every stupid step of Build-A-Bear. You had to fill out a birth certificate for the bear for some reason. Generate a social security number. That took weeks. Gives us 2 little toy hearts to put inside. He's like, okay, guys, make a wish. And I'm just like, I wish I wasn't in Build-A-Bear. Put the toy heart, and the kid's like, I wish Grandpa didn't vote for Trump. America wishes that. America also wishes that. And the dude, like, he was making it so painful. Do you guys ever fantasize about slapping a bike lock in someone's gauged ear? Just me? Run away, be like, the combination's your mom's cell phone number. Big old gauges working at Build-A-Bear. There's no chance he's still talking with his mom, right? I think it's a good word for it, gauges, because it's a good gauge of how distant you've become from your family. You can measure it like the rings in a tree. Every centimeter's another Thanksgiving you've missed. Can't make it this year, Mom. Coke can. Like. And some people, you know, they get offended at these jokes, come up to me afterwards like, hey, Mr. Tall Pants, I have gauges, and I talk to my mom every single day. Like, it doesn't count if you live with her. But I tell you what, I'm excited. I'm excited for 20 years down the road when everyone with those big old dinner plate gauges realize that they don't grow back. That's gonna be fun for everybody, because there's gonna be a lot of infomercial solutions to fix it. You know, it's just gonna be a guy turning around in a swivel chair. Do your ears hang low? Can you wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Call now. Thanks so much, you guys. I'm Seth Tippetts.